What is philosophy? What is its nature and scope, and how we do philosophy? This is my topic for today's lecture. What is philosophy? Etymologically, etymology, etymology. Etymology means the origin and development of words. For example, the etymology of biology is bios and logos. So etymologically, the word philosophy comes from philo and sophia. Philo and sophia. Philo means love and sophia means wisdom. So the love for wisdom is etymologically philosophy. Etymologically, philosophy is derived from two Greek words, philo and sophia. Philo is love and sophia is wisdom. So the love of wisdom is philosophy. Initially, when philosophy was developed in Greece, so it was a very practical field, a very practical subject. Students would come to philosophers and they would ask them to make them wise, because they were the lovers of wisdom. They did not want to be stupid, or they did not want to be emotionally unstable, and they wanted to have consistent, logical personalities. So that's why they would come to teachers like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Epicurus, Zeno, and many others. So they would just come to them and would ask them that, Sir, please make me wise. And the philosopher would be making them wise. There were many other people in the Greece. They would be doing other jobs like merchants and business persons and common people, politicians, as we have different professions today. So philosopher would be a wise person, and people would go and meet him and asking him that how my life can be based on wisdom, so that I am happy and I am successful and I am intelligent and I am not stupid, or I am not depressed, or I don't have psychological or spiritual or other problems. So philosophy was a very, very practical field initially. So philosophy is the love of wisdom etymologically, and more intellectually, philosophy is the study, the rational approach to ultimate reality. That what is ultimate reality of different things, like knowledge? What is the ultimate reality of knowledge? What is the ultimate reality of mind? What is the ultimate reality of religion? What is the ultimate reality of science? So, existence, ethics, what is the reality of everything? So, the rational approach is philosophy. Later on, philosophy became empirical also. Empirical means that you use your senses, not only your rationality, your mind, but also your senses. So, that philosophy was called empiricism. And as we continued the progress of philosophy, so transcendentalism also came into it. Transcendentalism means that it is not only the senses and the mind, but there can be something beyond these two, or we can combine these two together. So Kant and Emerson and these philosophers gave transcendentalism. The progress continued, and then Bergson, a French philosopher, he gave the idea of intuitionism, that intuition is also important for philosophy. So, this we will be discussing in the epistemology, but today what we are discussing more, that is philosophical methods, that how to do philosophy. If you want to become a philosopher and you want to apply philosophy, so how you will do philosophy? So we do philosophy with the logic, basically with the logic. Different philosophers uses different methods, and I have given you the details in the notes today. But one of the most important method that philosophers use, that is logic. Now the formula of logic is SIDF, SIDDF. Please make a comment that the formula of logic is SIDF, SIDDF. Formula of logic is SIDF, SIDDF. Now SIDDF, SIDF stands for, this is my contribution to philosophy, my own formula, but this formula is used in your course also. So SIDF is Socratic method, inductive method, deductive method, dialectical method, and fallibilistic method. Fallibilistic method. So these 5 methods, Socratic, inductive, deductive, dialectical, and fallibilistic methods, are used by philosophers in the logic. Inductive and deductive are called major logic, whilst Socratic, deductive, dialectical, and fallibilistic methods is called minor logic. The real logic that we have, that is deductive and inductive. But Socratic, we have informal logic also, and dialectical and fallibilistic. These logic also we use. And in this month course, we will continue discussing all the methods. Now, today our topic is Socratic method. So every method has a philosopher in your course. If you study your syllabus, so there is a method and there is a philosopher. For example, Socratic method. So who is the philosopher? Socrates. So you have to prepare Socrates as a philosopher and his method, which is Socratic method. If you read today's notes, so you will see that there is a 2 types of notes. Who was Socrates as a philosopher, and then what is Socratic method? Because Socratic method is not limited to Socrates. It is then evolving and it has become a very important educational theory, Socratic method. But the founder was Socrates. Socrates did not give us only Socratic method. Socrates gave us a lot of other ideas also. But one of the important contribution of Socrates was Socratic method. Socrates was the teacher of Plato, and I have been to Greece and Athens, and you might have seen my videos. I have gone to all those places where Socrates would teach the people, and especially Plato. And Socrates was teaching in marketplace. He would not charge any price or any fee for his teaching. He was a well-to-do person, a rich person. Even he would give money to people to listen to him. It is said that he was sitting in the market, and a man came and he asked him, "Where are you going?" So he said, "I'm going for my job, for my daily labor." So he said, "How much you will be earning?" So he said some amount like 10 rupees or dollars. So he said, "I will give you 10, but listen to me, let us discuss things." So from there, Socratic method was evolved. I have given you a video in this group, I think, in which there is a TV newscaster talking to Socrates, a very beautiful news simulation or drama type video, where you can see how Socrates talks and defends his ideas. So Socrates is a very interesting figure in history, and also we have our sympathies and our sentiments with him because he was killed because of his ideas. He was given death sentence. So Socrates is a very natural and he's the beginner, the start of the formal philosophy. That's why he has a very attractive kind of image. Every person, when he or she talks about Socrates or reads about Socrates, so there is a special sentiment for Socrates. What is Socratic method? In simple language, Socratic method is questions answers. Questioning and answering is Socratic method. Questioning and answering. Critical thinking. Socrates is the founder of critical thinking. The founder of critical thinking is Socrates. If you Google who was the founder of critical thinking, so Socrates will come to you that he founded the institution of critical thinking. And the first step of critical thinking is curiosity. Curiosity is asking questions. Very few people can ask questions. Most of the people, they are just listeners or readers, and they don't challenge, they don't ask questions, they don't do debates. Now, the teachings of Socrates were recorded by Plato. And all the books of Plato are in the shape of dialogues. Beautiful dialogues. Please Google it and YouTube dialogues of Plato, and you will see Socrates a very active character in all the dialogues of Plato, and very interesting dialogues are there, talking about very important aspects of our lives. So please Google it, dialogues of Plato. And in the dialogue of Plato, one of the interlocutor means one of the participant of discussion is called interlocutor. So usually one of the interlocutor is Socrates. Socrates is one character, and then there are other characters, and they are discussing different things like what is justice, what is truth, what is life, what is happiness, and all these basic things they have. What is politics, who can be a good king, and what is soul, what is the future of soul, if somebody dies, what happens to soul, and all these questions are there in the Plato dialogues. One of the most famous dialogue of Plato is Republic. So Plato and Socrates, they were in the favor of discussion, debates. It was not like writing a book. It was not like me that I am delivering a lecture and you people are just sitting there. Because some people, they are teachers and the other are students. And Socrates said that no, there will be only dialogue. That he would sit and they would ask questions and answers. Now the purpose of the questions and answers was not to win the argument, that one should be the winner and the other should be the losers, as the people do in polemics. Polemics. Polemics are apologetics. That is a different thing. Apologetics and polemics is munazira. In munazira, apologetics or polemics, two groups come together, or two persons come and they argue, and one win and the other loses. This is not Socratic method. The purpose of Socratic method is to establish the truth. We dialogue, we talk to each other, we ask questions and answers, but the purpose is not that I defeat you and I win. No. The purpose is to establish the truth. So then at the end, both are happy. They ask questions, for example, what is education? And you give me a definition of education. And then I ask another question, that what is this, and what is this, and what is this? And we continue this dialogue for 1 hour, 2 hours. And at the end, we both agree that what is the real answer to the question. And from this discussion, the topic, the concept is clear. Religion is not philosophy, and that's why in religion there is one authority speaking to you unidirectionally. Only one direction is there. God says, Prophet says, and that's all. You cannot question that. Is it like this? Maybe it is not like this. Why 5 times prayer? Why this? Why that? You cannot ask questions. Atana wa salamna. You have to obey and you have to agree and you have to listen, and that's all. You have to be obedient. Philosophy is different. Here you ask questions and you answer questions. So I don't know whether you have any question for me or not, but this is Socratic method to have questions answers and to establish the truth and the end. So if you have any question, please ask. One is this intellectual question that you do not understand, so you ask from a teacher. This is not debate. This is not Socratic method. Socratic method is the continuous debate. You ask question, I answer, then I ask question, you answer, and this continues, and then we get the result like in the Plato books, Republics. Socrates did not write books, so his words were recorded by Plato in his books. There is one small theory that Socrates did not exist. This was only Plato who invented a character, like Shakespeare invented a lot of characters in his dramas, but there is no so much support for this theory, and most of the scholars agree that yes, there was a character and there was a real man whose name was Socrates. So whether I don't receive your comments or you have no question, all the best, good night. And if you have any question, you can still write as a comment and I will take me and I will respond to that in the written form. Read the notes, read the notes. The notes will give you a very clear picture of everything. In lecture, you understand the topic, you have some idea about the topic, but when you read the notes, you are preparing yourself for examination. You read the notes, you understand it, and then when you sit in examination, you are able to write.